I didn't know that you're a cousin or someone. When I got to know you're a friend of Indranil, it is kind of enticing to understand how you came on the board and what exactly you're doing.
Yeah, I come from a strong supply chain or a sourcing operations background. So to creating a network of distribution is something that my expertise is, and I come from an FMCG background.
When a friend walking in as a partner to the business, how these metrics gets defined.
So it's a good question.
You are going there and auditing it, and if something doesn't work with the standards, you have also made sure like that the relationship or the association had stopped, or have you taken such decisions?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but for the sake of the business, we will have to make such decisions. Now, this year, I will be taking this to Australia, to some parts of UK, to Dubai, to Singapore, and making Chitale as a global brand. So somebody who is sitting in North Dakota, South Dakota, and wants to eat Amba Barfi, with one click, the next day delivery the person can have it. So it took me 1 year to figure out that model.
The engineers becoming halwai. And operating at that level, people laugh at it. Oh, from engineer to halwai.
You can be a halwai, but you can be a high-tech halwai.
Welcome to Passionate Pulse podcast. This is Pranali, and after having a great talks with Indranil, now I'm sitting with Mr. Allhad Kulkarni. He's the CEO or the Chief Operating Officer, I can see, who is actually doing the global overseas operation, and he's running his head, or he's a strategy member that we can see who is playing a key role in the global side. He's the first one to talk to me when I met at the Chitale, and figuring out how they're expanding and how they're moving further, especially their expansion legs in US Bay Area. So he was the face for it. He was a strategy member for it, and he's the one who is bringing up different sort of innovations to the globe that we are seeing. So we can see he's as a global operation head.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So welcome, Allhad, and great to meet you. And after conversing with you, I could see that you have been given a very free hand in the Chitale group.
Correct.
And I got to know you're a friend of Indranil. It is kind of enticing to understand how you came on the board and what exactly you're doing.
Yeah, so it's credit to actually credit to Indranil. I think the way he's brought up, or the way he sees this vision is like articulates down to his, like, if you see a top-down approach, this is how he treats the people around under him. That if he has an executive staff, he knows that he doesn't have to see or oversee them or do anything. He's hiring people because he can trust them and know that the job can be done. So that's why when I said I have a free hand, is primarily the main reason is because of him and the partners of the company, because they trust you in what you are technically doing and they will support you in places that's needed. And that helps me because I don't have that kind of a pressure or things to tell them or deliver in a certain way. Like I can design out of the box situations, and I know that back of my mind, Indranil will be there to support with the ideas. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, we are all human. That's how you learn and grow and devise your strategies. The only part is that you have to be ahead of the curve, as he mentioned that, and then we have to keep on innovating or come up with ideas which more appealing to the customers.
So when you say that you are a global operation head, you're looking out to expand it in a much more richer way to the Chitale. What exactly your roles are? I mean, why I'm asking this question is when any organization is deploying their chief heads to different areas, they have been given a set of roles to perform, or there is a set of metrics to evaluate. And especially when a friend walking in as a partner to the business, how these metrics gets defined, or are you the ones who are defining a new metrics?
So it's a good question. So I lived in the US for 10 years, then 3 years in Europe, and me and Indranil always used to talk about the lack of availability of the products and across the globe. Like I've been to 25 plus countries, and everywhere it's the same story that you don't get Chitale's products, especially the mithais. Like people stuff their bags, 23 kgs bags with the products and take it to them. So I always found that this is so stupid. Like you are coming here for a month and then taking your stuff just filled with bags. Even though it's very good for the brand, but why don't we bring this over there so that the people who are coming back to India for vacations can take something else? They don't have to rely really on food. So coming with the vision of taking India globally is primarily through food, right? Indians are known to be foodies.
Yeah.
So the best way, or if you're Maharashtrian, for me to be a Maharashtrian sitting in Netherlands, I could associate myself with eating something which is coming from Maharashtra, right?
Yeah.
So we took this as a principle. Last year, we went to Garze Marathi event just to explore, and then we realized that we have an opportunity where mithai is not available in US readily, or whatever is available is a local mithai, local store making it there. The quality doesn't withstand that requirements. So me and Indranil started discussing. We have a brand who is strong enough, people can relate to. Why don't we bring that over to them? So we started with this, and then we came up with a model which is called as a shop-in-shop model. So earlier, we thought that maybe a franchisee would be a good idea, but with the real estate feasibility, we just started like to test the market. Why don't we open up like a kiosk or a shop-in-shop model? And we started with New Jersey, where we started bringing the 10-15 cream products of Chitale Mithai over there, and it picked it up. So from one to now, in matter of 6 to 8 months, we have reached 10 stores.
Wow.
So, and the model is basically we tap high footfall restaurants or stores tagging along with us. So because of us, they get a bigger footfall, or because of them, we get the coverage or the marketing or the sales accordingly. And this model has works well. And eventually we are taking the 15 products to make it 50, so that the entire 8 hours or 10 hours the store is open, there is enough footfall coming in. So this thing worked well in the US, and now this year I will be taking this to Australia, to some parts of UK, to Dubai, to Singapore, and making Chitale as a global brand. And so for somebody like you who is coming from US and taking the stuff there, you don't have to go. Our store is in Milpitas. You can just drive 10 miles and get whatever stuff you want over there. So this is the vision behind it. And with more and more Indians becoming global or settling down all across the globe, we think that we have a potential to be a global brand.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is already a global brand. We don't have to establish it very differently. But yes, as you say, like accessibility was something that was, meticulously was lacking.
Correct.
Starting with the Chitale initially, where it was, very restricted shops, you will get it and you have to drive back to Pune or, fly to Pune getting the mithai or whatever that you want. 1 to 4, it was purely closed.
Correct.
To open all the way. And now when you mention that the operation cycles that you manage in the factories, sometimes it runs 24 across 7 days, right?
Yeah.
So it's a huge progress starting at the back office to front office and expanding it further. So the shop-to-shop model that you mentioned, this was your initiative. How do you evaluate sort of models?
This was, completely my idea. The idea coming from the lack of availability of mithai. So I have, as being living there for 10 years, I've seen so many grocery stores, and the Indian grocery stores started from like a 200 square foot to now there are literally hundreds and thousands of square foot of grocery stores. Every aisle you move around, there is all namkeen. You don't really see a lot of mithai options. So how can we utilize the brand value, which is visible to the customers, plus we do the sale? So we figured out, okay, I can see Amba Barfi, Kaju Katli as a unique opportunity where I don't see these products anywhere. So why don't we start creating a kiosk or take up 100 square foot place in this and start selling it? So we tried it out for 1-2 months. It was a blessing in disguise, or a good problem to have, to say in a way, is because every time I shipped the products out there, they were sold out in two days.
Wow.
So it was a good problem because I was not able to replenish this well. So now then that's where the idea started tricking, is like, how can I take a proof of concept which worked well in one region and I want to take it across 25 cities in US. So because then if I take it across 25 cities, my supply chain will become better. People can have these products every day. So this was the plan. So I come from a strong supply chain or a sourcing operations background. So to creating a network of distribution is something that my expertise is, and I come from an FMCG background. So I took this as a proof of concept, which is now converting into probably like a good business model. And like with the right strategies ahead, we'll probably convert into a good company. So that's why we registered our own company in the US, where the second part to this is like you don't have to pay in India in rupees. Since having like US is so techno savvy with your Square platform or variety of different platforms, with just one click or one tap, you can pay in US and then get the products over there. So solving multiple problems together was one initiative. That's where the shop in shop concept came into picture.
Are you also handling the e-commerce part where, we can just on a click order the products and get it as a home delivery?
So we are starting e-commerce in a month's time. One of the things that we observe with e-commerce is the storage space. It becomes really expensive until unless you have your own warehouses, good operations. Now we'll be having one warehouse on the east side, one on the west side. So we'll start keeping our products over there. So somebody who is sitting in North Dakota, South Dakota, and wants to eat Amba Barfi, with one click, the next day delivery the person can have it. So it took me 1 year to figure out that model. But starting Ganpati, we will have our e-commerce live.
Wow.
And then people all across the US or even in Canada will be able to buy our products through the website.
Wonderful. So what really motivated you to join the Chitale group versus having, taken up your own medicine line business, your family business?
So it was not a difficult task. I grew up in Pune. I grew up with this brand. It was 1 or 2 stores where we used to wait in line to get the products out. Another factor was like I came from a US background with $100 billion company. And I always felt that Chitale had a potential to be that level. So I could utilize my knowledge or skills to take this globally. That was one factor. And me and Indradil knowing each other for a good 15 plus years, it was not just friends talk. We always talked about business ideas. He helped me out in different ways. Or I used to tell him about the ideas or things that are happening in the US. And then he was fortunately at my place a couple of years back, and he shared his vision. And then there were some synergies that we found out that I could help drive this. So it was completely like a trial and error kind of a thing, but more about the loyalty or the love for the brand is where I associated with him. And I knew that like it's always more about the people or the brand rather than the company that you are working for. This is what I really learned about it. If you have somebody who you can trust and stay along and you can free float your ideas and those are being valued or appreciated, is the right organization to be associated with.
So that's how you took up the responsibilities.
Yeah.
When any company runs, there are type 1 and type A and type B problems. So type A is a very critical problem to solve. So there is less amount of error that have to happen. Type B is something that you can delegate, experiment out, and it's allowed to be fail type of a thing.
Yeah.
But when I see your role, it fits in the type A totally.
Yeah.
And still you have some experimental space. So how does that operates? Because, some errors are just not reversible.
Yeah. It's always what the errors which is allowed at the customer level. That's the key. What will my customer say if I deliver wrong product? Or what will a customer say if he's happy about it? It's like keeping up your customers' expectations in hand. So I know that I cannot deliver a product which is outside of expiry date to the customer because that will clearly kill my customer. They'll never come back. Or if a customer experience, if he asks for a certain date, I have to deliver in that time. But in some areas, I'm allowed to take that. Like I'm giving them a new product. It is a hit or a miss, right? Like, and I'm okay with that. Like if I launch something which is completely brand new, like for example, Bhel Bath, it turned out to be really well, right? But it was a brand new concept. So this is where failures are accepted. This is where we treat that failures are accepted, but we have to keep on innovating. So, but the products that is established or the quality of ingredients that are being used. So, as Indrali mentioned about high fructose corn syrup, it's a very common trend nowadays, right? To fill up the volume, to bring the price down. Will I eat this? Probably not. Never. Will I let my kid eat this? Especially after knowing what the effects. There are a lot of people who don't know what high fructose corn syrup is or what are the effects of it. So people just consume it because it's really cheap, right? But now our generation is very well educated because of social media or the lot of platforms that are offering. There are so many influencers who talk about this. I have a 5-year-old, so I just tell him that will I give my 5-year-old product which has high fructose corn syrup? No. So these are the errors that I don't want to repeat. And like people compare us with other brands that you are expensive. The reason behind it is because of the ingredients. I don't want to compete with somebody who is everywhere selling it at 5 rupees, but they are using wrong products. I'd rather be happy with my 15 rupees. I get 1% of that market share, but I want to deliver the quality. So this is where it comes from it. So this is where we define what are the errors that we are allowed to make, or what are the errors we completely cannot make.
So you work very much in conjunction with R&D and other departments as well?
Yeah. So R&D now is a core of us. So this is a completely new product development funnel. If you see, Salesforce is always on the field. They bring up ideas.
Right.
R&D are food technologies. They keep on experimenting. And then I am traveling. Indranil is traveling. And we want to do something which is different, which fits our brand value. I am here 2 days a week, primarily because I want to talk to R&D. I want to talk to quality guys to understand what's happening. So we work with, we are also working on customized things. That will this work? Like I will just say that 50% of the times things don't work. Like, but that do I mean that do I stop my R&D team? No, right? Like that's where the core values of the companies are. So to answer your question, yes, R&D is the integral part of it, and I'm like associating with them almost on every single day.
Wonderful. And you are also working at the sourcing part of the ingredients.
Correct.
You told me like many times you have rejected the ingredient itself, even the 0.5% here and there, even the controlling of the chili quality and how it is.
Yeah. So that's why like somebody who eats the same stuff, like there are customers of Chitale who come every day to buy the same product. Even a slight change, even if it's not the same customer, a slight change impacts the quality of the product. So that's why there are certain ingredients that we have to control. And now we have reached to an automation level where there is that slight fluctuation also impacts the quality that is coming out. So that leads to more rejections, failures, losses. But the most important factor is to maintain the same quality everywhere. So we are just using basically a lot of science, a lot of high AQL, like it's basically a term which is an acceptable quality limit, which is an industry-wide standard. Make it even stricter because of FDA and FSI becoming more stronger and stronger day by day. So I can only pass an FDA regulation or an FSI regulation every time if my raw materials stay intact.
Right.
So that's why we have multiple vendors who do the same ingredients. We have our own quality testing parameters. We do batch sampling. Randomly go to the factories without letting them know, like who are our suppliers, that I am just coming and seeing your audit. So it keeps a pressure on them as well, that Chitale can come to our factory and just inspect it, and they cannot fail it. So there are a lot of sourcing is a wide industry. So there are a lot of factors involved in this to make sure that each and every raw material that comes in meets the quality standards which we have set.
Wow. So you are going there and auditing it, and if something doesn't work with the standards, you have also made sure like that the relationship or the association is stopped, or have you taken such decisions?
Yeah, it's very common. It's very common in this industry. This is an extreme step to stop somebody. Fortunately for us, there are suppliers who are associated with us for like 20 plus years. So they know what to expect or stuff, but that doesn't mean that they don't make mistakes. But they know what to do or what to be aware of. We bring raw materials or even packaging materials all around the globe. So there are certain parameters that have to be stuck. So if something is not meeting, now we have reached to a point where they are the ones who come to us that, hey, this lot is really bad and I cannot ship it to you because of the overall relationships that has been built. But yeah, we have to take sometimes extreme decisions. Like some companies are not financially viable to serve us. That they are declining because of their bad decision makings, or their machinery is not up to the limit of what we are expecting to have the same level of ingredients. So such decisions happen every year. It's unfortunate, but for the sake of the business, we will have to make such decisions.
Wow. And you have done those kind of inspections, or you keep doing it?
Yeah. So it's very, now I let my team do it. Now they are trained enough. I go once in a year, twice in a year to the big players to go and meet them. But my team is well capable of handling those relationships and visiting them. I have a full-fledged regulatory and affairs team who keeps a check on their licenses. They are monitored. If something is coming on an expiry level, our team visits them to get those recertified. So it's a completely standardized standard operating procedure that has been set. We keep on evolving because my team attends a lot of FSSI or FDA related events because the regulations keep on changing. In order to keep up to that, they make sure that our suppliers are also compliant to that.
That's a wonderful thing to know. I mean, this should happen, but I'm just asking you these questions so that our audience get to, see that, how these things are really operating and where the trust should come from.
Yeah.
Other question that I have, Allhad, is probably not related with this, Chitale, but, as you as an individual, when you said like you're doing multiple things, like you're also doing sometimes consulting and also talking about the C-suite executive and taking the responsibilities. See, every experience is an experience and every role demands a different experience as well as demands some risk to be taken.
Yeah.
That's where you come into the picture, that accepting the C-suite executive position, although it was offered by a friend, but running with the same due diligence and delivering it at that value is a very different level. Like when I saw you, I never even realized at the first place that you're not a part of a family, a dependable family member or, immediate family members, but you are actually a extended family member coming into the play.
Yeah.
Right? So given that opportunity and taking up and moving further, I think we'll like to understand your mentorship and the advice for our audience, like, whoever is looking forward to take up new roles, new heights in their career.
Correct. So I think the biggest advice is be honest to yourself and don't take things for granted. So like such opportunities will come to you, but they will only come to you if you have an ability to deliver. Be accountable as much as you can. Like if you're failing at something, like this is the biggest learnings I had throughout my career is about try to be as accountable about your failures or success, whatever it is. Like learn to own it. Once you develop that attitude towards yourself, success will come to you very, very easily. Like it's very, very important. Like me as a person, I treat myself a person who is very, very much accountable for their own decision making. Like, and I'm not afraid to tell to at least like if there are a million people sitting on me, and if I fail at something, I'm not ashamed at saying that I failed something. And if you learn this attitude, it helps to develop a certain process in your career or even if your personal life, and then you can easily achieve that. So, and this is inspired from a book I read, Ikigai. So, like developing your own inner like strength or like it's a goal, right? Ikigai is basically what's your goal. So that book inspired me a lot about thinking about how I want to grow myself as an individual. And accountability is where I stand myself as probably the most key value, you can say, in my life. And then take up that opportunity, I would say, and then be as much accountable and honest to yourself.
So just to let you know, guys, Allhad, although he is a chief operating officer and he's doing a multiple global operation on the expansion and a good part of a C-suite executive that we say, but at the same time, he is being at the forefront. I have met him at a BMM where he was delivering some event like important lectures that you can say at the Beaconnect. And at the same time, he was sitting at the booth and selling the mithais or the snacks as well. So he was operating at a very different scale at both the fronts. And the one question that he mentioned initially, you had, asked about, or, you had initiating your talk about it, engineering student or the engineers becoming halwai and operating at that level. People laugh at it. Oh, from engineer to halwai. Although the, what back office is doing, that you cannot even imagine the massive level of jobs and the intense amount of meetings that they have to take and, ask a lot of questions and sometimes even responsible at a country level to present what they're presenting. So how this graph that you really accepted when, people ask you at a very taunting level that engineer to halwai, how does it sound.
The only thing we say in this way is like delivering to the customers to the quality that is needed. And now halwai, that translation has also changed, fortunately, because of globalizations that is happening. So I didn't actually take this as a taunt. I took this as an opportunity to educate somebody that you can be a halwai, but you can be a high tech halwai. And this is an example of, like, you just saw the factory of what a high tech halwai can do. There is so much engineering. There is only 2 person working on a 1200 ton an hour bakarwadi machine. How can you do this? Like, you need an engineering brain to do it, right? So the biggest struggle to do, or you can say a frustrating part, is educating somebody on this part. But I still take this as a challenge. We are still asked that, like, you are a halwai or you are working for a mithai. But this industry changing to like how packaging, or like the example I gave you about how does a product stay good for 9 months. We try to educate people through technology, right? Like retorting. Retorting helps to stay the products. So like, I get questioned about, oh, a gulab jam can stay fresh for 9 months. How is this possible? There must be preservatives.
Yeah.
So I get this question every time I talk or do something, like, how can a gulab jam stay 9 months? Like, you don't need something which is 2 days old. So then I help them understand in a very simple way that what does how does a product stay, right? Because of the environmental conditions. I just don't let that environmental conditions affect my product, and it's pure science and engineering involved around it.
So it's a great journey to understand, like, when somebody is, keep on pinching, but then you take it and, show it that what the real show is.
Yeah.
It's a very different segment to work around. So when we talk about Chitale, there is a lot of trust and relationship, and they always talk about, this family bonding, and, whoever is in their group, there is a great family culture around. So as a part of an external family member joining the Chitale group, and when it comes down to any failures for your initiatives, I would like to open up on that lines, that how does it really been treated at a group level, or, at an executive level?
So failure is always treated as an opportunity to do something better. It's like why we failed, what really happened, and what can we do so that we don't repeat that thing. And then whom we have failed so far, and how can we bring that person back to that level. Or the basically, like, you can say 4 or 5 pillars for bringing, like, if I failed a customer, he or she may not come back to us, right? So I have to take probably 10 more efforts to bring that customer back. So what are those 10 efforts I need to do? It could be probably innovating the products, giving them better service, or there could be n number of failure points, right? So it's always considered as an opportunity. And okay, we failed. We know why we failed. As long as there is a proper path flow of this doesn't repeat again, there is, like, nobody is blaming you or anything. It's a part and parcel of your life that you are bound to fail. Like, else you will not grow.
So it is very well accepted, and then the whole team backs you up to move further on.
Yeah, I fail every day. I fail pretty much every day. I can just say that. I'm failing in at least one activity a day. But so far I'm here for 2 years. So that means that they're believing in me. And I'm also believing in myself that there is a path. So I'm failing once, but I'm probably doing something else as well. Like, there is no harm in failing.
But then the organization is not structured in the traditional boss and this thing.
No. Okay. So, like, it's a very professionally. So for outsider, it's still looked up as a family-owned kind of a business. But internally, you come down the line. If you see, like, this door is, like, right now it's closed here, but this it's a pretty much open door policy for Indranil here. Like, anybody on the manufacturing floor can come and see him.
Yeah, we just saw that.
Yeah, there are so many people coming in and out asking questions, or there is something urgent. So there is so this circulates down to the culture this company has developed in. So it's not that, okay, you have to wait or you have to walk through the hierarchical part of it. You can just walk in this. So that this is the culture across everywhere. You go to our offices in the city as well. It's the same thing. Like, nobody is a boss or those kind of things. Obviously, there are certain levels where with the financial decisions, partners get involved in it. But day-to-day things, they don't even bother, or we don't even bother about what the team is doing. Like you have to trust the team. You have to let them fail so that they learn from it, and that's how the company grows.
Wonderful. And now I'm come back to the last advice question that I'm really looking out for you. So any scaled up business at a big brand level, if somebody is looking to join as a C-suite executive, what is the advice that you will give out to them in terms of the responsibility handling, in terms of nourishing it further or expanding it further, and the different level of confidence that you have to walk in to own certain things, although you don't like it. So I'd like to know the advice from you for them.
So it's advice I would just say is be patient, because it's a complex business. It will take time. Don't rush into getting results. Like it won't come overnight. I had to wait 1 year technically to start the US operations, and because of the 1 year's worth of efforts, we were able to get the store from 1 to 10 in matter of 3 months. But it took me 1 year technically to fail and try new things to bring it there. So be patient around it. Be open to all the ideas, and then try to implement and be free technically to take those decisions and not worry about the failures here. And the team here, or the executive team, will support you even if you fail.
Yeah.
Here.
So when you're looking forward to associate with some other brands, I mean, not just you, I mean, I'm asking about the audience, talking about the audience, whoever is looking forward to take up the baton with the well-established brands and, accepting the C-suite executives, they have to look forward for these factors, whether the culture is well there to absorb.
Correct.
And, the vice versa, you go with the right force, and also the mindset of giving yourself a time to absorb and, start your initiatives. There are a lot of people that are rushing to leaderships, rushing out to send them, showing the results. And that's not actually true, with especially the scaled up businesses.
Correct. And here they won't expect something for you to deliver in 2 months. If you're a C-suite executive, they won't be able to do it. Like you have to wait. And especially in India, things don't happen as quickly as you would intend to. So you will have to take your time and find your path to success.
Wonderful.
That's the best success.
Yeah. Thanks, Allhad, for sharing your time even now and before and throughout whatever that we have interacted. You are the one because of whom I really got to know that the Chitale is a brand to trust. And especially when you made me an offer, why don't you come over the factory and see it by yourself, what goes beneath, and what really the high tech means. And right now, the India that is moving further, how it is innovating at a food industry, and how Chitale is doing a different benchmarks across the operations, across the processes, and, across the food innovation. So, thank you for being that person for me.
You're
the
welcome.
face for Chitale was the first one to you, and then the Indranil, for me at least. And, it really gave me the confidence in the business that are operating, and now they are getting scaled up. So I wish you best luck for your new opportunity and whatever that you're doing. I see a huge baton that you have taken up and extending the family further to the globe. So we'll be looking forward your initiatives and cherishing them. Let us know what support you need as the consumers.
Perfect.
So we'll be there to come out and test your different
Eat
outlets.
as much mithai as you can in California. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
But thank you for coming. It was nice talking to you, and I hope you have enjoyed the visit. And I look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Allhad.
Thank you.